A very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Primetime News. We hope you had a great day so far. Well, we are prepared to give you the latest unfoldings from today here in the country and around the globe. I'm Zola Outskun. First, the headlines.
President inspects the infectious disease hospital. 3 armed forces to be called in to combat dengue. State Minister explains who should be held responsible for the Mithraula tragedy. Garbage disposal crisis in Kalania. 2,241 suspects arrested during raids. Sports Minister hints on a separate training for cricketers.
Starting off with our top story this evening, the Northern Provincial Council is marred with a crisis following a motion of no confidence which was presented against Minister of the Northern, C.V. Vigneswaran. Despite this fact, people in the Northern Province demonstrated today as a mark of support to the Chief Minister.
Last year, a letter bearing the signatures of 16 provincial councillors requested the Chief Minister to take action against provincial ministers who face fraud and corruption allegations. In response, Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran appointed a 3-member committee in November to investigate the allegations. The committee report was tabled at the Northern Provincial Council on the 14th by the Chief Minister. He announced the corruption and administrative allegations against Provincial Minister of Agriculture P. Aingaranesan and Provincial Minister of Education T. Gurukula Raja have been proven. The Chief Minister requested the ministers to step down from their positions. The Chief Minister announced that investigations against Provincial Ministers Sathiyalingam and B. Dineeswaran were not carried out in a proper manner as those who made the allegations failed to appear for the investigations. He emphasized that the respective 2 provincial ministers to take leave, paving the way for a proper investigation. Notably, when the Chief Minister was making his stance before the chamber, several councillors left the premises. That very night, the respective councillor called on the Governor of the province, Reginald Kure, and presented a motion of no confidence against the Chief Minister. The group that met the Governor were led by Chairman of the Provincial Council C.V.K. Sivanyanam and included some councillors from the opposition. The motion was presented by the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi, and after information came to light about it, Tamil People's Council launched a Hartal campaign across the northern province. Yesterday, while the Hartal was going on, Tamil People's Council members and university students marched to the official residence of the Chief Minister from Nallur. Northern Provincial Councillor M.K. Sivalingam, accompanied by a group of councillors, called on the Governor of the province and handed over a motion in support of Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran. People demonstrated near the Mullaitivu District Secretariat today in support of the Chief Minister. Opposition leader R. Sambandhan, addressing a letter to Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran, requested that action be taken against the provincial ministers against whom allegations were not proven and be amended.
If they are spared, a motion of no confidence would be presented citing that I protected the wrongdoers. A motion of no confidence is presented against me claiming that I have done wrong because those people are going to be punished. No matter what is followed by them, they are of the stance to drive me away. You have responded to their views. We will fulfill our responsibilities. The investigations were stalled because the other 2 failed to appear. They will not be acquitted. They claim that they are innocent. We have received information about their actions. Another investigation will take place.
Minister S.P. Disarnayaka commented on the situation that has arisen within the Northern Provincial Council.
If
the Chief Minister must be removed, they need to show that they have a majority with them. Or the Chief Minister must show that he has a majority to defeat the motion of no confidence. There is a tussle between 2 sides. I witnessed MP Sumandiran saying there is no issue in removing the Chief Minister. That is an issue between the councillors of the Northern Provincial Council and the TNA.
News from the President's Diary this evening. President Mithraula visited the infectious disease hospital today.
The President inspected the IDH non-communicable disease unit in Mullaeriyawa and instructed officials to immediately address the shortcomings in the hospital. Inspecting the ward for dengue patients, the President engaged in a cordial discussion with the patients. He thereafter inquired from the hospital staff into the shortages in the hospital, including medication.
A special media briefing was called for at the Government Information Department to raise awareness on preventing the rapid spread of dengue. The situation needs to be classified as an emergency disaster situation, and the 3 armed forces must be deployed for this purpose. Waste has not been disposed in a proper manner and the fumigation has not been done in a proper manner. If lives are lost, we must take the responsibility. Percentages do not matter to the victims. We must eradicate this completely. When we take a look at the numbers that fall victim to dengue, we have identified a painkiller called NECID. We must consider the serious nature of this, because if one pill is given, that could lead to death. So please do not use that. A full blood count needs to be done in order for specialist doctors to ascertain whether the patient has dengue or not. We have informed all laboratories to bring down the prices of the test to around 250 rupees, at least until the situation is brought under control. We have an excess stock of Dexatran, which is an essential medication. There were many statements made in the past. The government of Australia is prepared to send specialists to the country and commence an operation at their expense.
The epidemiology unit says that the number of dengue patients from the Ratnapura district is rapidly increasing following the flood situation that persisted in the area. 3,060 dengue patients were reported from the Ratnapura district during the past several months. Yesterday alone, 108 dengue patients were reported from Ratnapura. Due to the present situation, programs to educate the public were held in several areas. Dengue patients were reported in large numbers today as well. Meanwhile, the final rites of the English teacher of the Aloysius National College, who died as a result of dengue recently, was held today. 20 students from the school are currently receiving treatment at the Ratnapura Hospital for dengue.
During recent times, we have patients with diarrhea. We also saw throat infections, swelling, immunity glands in dengue patients. Therefore, the important message that we have to give out to the public is, if you are suffering from fever during the dengue epidemic, and if you have body ache, please consult a doctor and obtain medical advice. Do not remain at home by taking home remedies. Former Minister Professor Tissa Vitharan, speaking on the Satana program aired on our sister channel Sirasa TV last evening, commented on the dengue eradication process. The professor was the former director of the Medical Research Institute. Dr. Tissera served as the head of the task force for dengue eradication. As per the policy of the government, he has been demoted to the 3rd position, and a doctor with administrative experience and who has very little knowledge about dengue has been appointed in his place to make decisions. There was a lady who had served over 20 years of experience and training in the prevention of epidemics. She has been transferred to a normal hospital as a director.
You clearly state that the absence of public representatives at provincial councils is the reason for the increase in the spread of dengue. She went for a posting at the United Nations. When she was vacating the position to go to the UN, she was replaced by a consultant doctor by the name of Dr. Samita Ginige. He had similar qualifications. He is a specialist in epidemiology. He is now working in that position.
None of these appointments are political appointments, as Tissa Vitharan points out. They are neither appointments nor transfers. If we do something like that, there will be many other problems. Our Director General of Health, Dr. Palitha Mahipala, joined the World Health Organization. Was that a transfer? We would like to shift our attention onto a story that made it the headlines. State Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe took a blow at those who must be held responsible for the Mithraula disaster.
Today when we talk about garbage as if it is somebody else's garbage. and as if it's not our garbage. We are debating as to where we should dump the garbage. We definitely have to dump the garbage. There's no question about it. But if we approach it scientifically, we will find out that it's only the residue, if at all, which needs to be dumped, and all the rest could be treated in some other way, and even bringing economic benefits out of the management of garbage. Mithraula happened. At least I could think of 3 ministries in government which had some responsibility. The ministry responsible for local government and provincial councils. The ministry responsible for Western development. The ministry responsible for the environment. Those ministries need to take responsibility. Politicians must take responsibility. If it is not the politician's responsibility, then the politician must name the officials who are responsible for what really happened. It's either the politician or the official is responsible, and they should be named. And then if they are named, they should resign. If they don't resign, they should be fired. If a bus driver belonging to the Ceylon Transport Board would meet with an accident and somebody was killed, if it was judicially proven that that bus driver actually was responsible for that accident, that bus driver loses his job, loses his income, and also loses his pension. But a tragedy like Mithraula could happen, where not one person died, but many people died. And similar tragedies are waiting to happen, but nobody has taken responsibility.
A tense situation was reported between 2 local politicians over the issue of garbage disposal in Kalania.
The topic of disposing garbage close to the Kalania River was raised at a meeting between former UNP councillor Manoj Pereira and SLFP organizer of the Kalania electorate Tilak Waragoda on a prior occasion. Manoj Pereira had thereafter alleged that Waragoda had threatened him against the disposal of garbage close to the Kalania River.
When the disposal of garbage was stopped, I got a phone call at around 8:05 p.m. from Tilak Waragoda, and he was threatening me. He threatened me not to oppose their work. Speaking to me in profane language, he threatened to take action against me if I attempted to do otherwise.
Manoj
Pereira is trying to calm the people by fabricating certain stories. I have evidence for that. Therefore, I called him up and told him not to do so. I asked what he is planning on doing when the UMP and SLFP had reached a common consensus on this. I did not threaten to kill him.
However, the area residents say that a proper solution is yet to be provided for the issue of garbage disposal.
The Island newspaper reported the SLFP disciplinary committee had summoned 15 party members, including former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, to show cause as to why they should not be expelled from the party for breach of discipline. According to the newspaper, General Secretary of the SLFP, Dumini Dissanayake, had made this statement. The report pointed out that the charges against them are criticizing the party and its leadership repeatedly engaging in political work of the new political party, Podujana Peramuna, while being members of the SLFP, challenging the decisions of the Central Committee, boycotting the party convention and the party's May Day rally, issuing statements criticizing the party, conspiring to create a split in the party, etc. I have not made such a statement to the Island newspaper. A disciplinary hearing is taking place against Sanath Nishanta. After the committee provides recommendations, it will be given to the Central Working Committee and the respective legal action will be taken. We have seen some persons registering a political party in violation to the SLFP constitution and acting on it. We hope to carry out disciplinary action against them. It is not done based on the person. We act on those who breach the party discipline. Action will be taken in the future.
I think Vinaya
The Central Working Committee took disciplinary action on certain persons. We will not falter to take action against anyone who acted in violation of discipline, even if they are in Parliament, provincial councils or holding any other positions. The party has taken a decision. The main charge is the creation of another party and amassing members. If we act on this now, we have made new appointments and move forward. It was Mahinda Rajapaksa who handed over the party reins to President Mithraula Sirisena. It was not a party decision. He must have the decency to support the president. If he is conspiring against the party leadership while in the party, it can be considered as betrayal. President Mithraula Sirisena presided over the International Yoga Day celebrations at Independence Square today.
The event was organized in association with the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Indian Minister of External Affairs Sushma Swaraj joined in the celebrations via Skype. Indian High Commissioner Taranjit Singh was among those who participated in the event, which was organized in Sri Lanka for the third time.
Some good news for all households now. Importers and Dealers Association of Essential Food Items says the wholesale price of sugar has been reduced to 96 rupees from the initial price of 99 rupees.
The special commodity levy of 13 rupees on sugar was increased by 10 rupees on the 6th of this month. The Finance Ministry said that the tax was increased to provide incentive to local sugar producers. The All-Ceylon Bakery Owners Association had issued a statement on the 12th of this month, citing that the price of bakery goods will be increased in the event taxes are imposed on sugar. Convening a media briefing, the All Island Restaurant Owners Association said the price of a cup of plain tea will be increased to 20 rupees, while milk tea will be increased to 40 rupees.
The Valana Anti-Corruption Unit raided a large-scale liquor racket operating from near the Madinnagoda Oya in Valikada.
One suspect was arrested and 21 Goda barrels hidden underwater were discovered in the raid. Police seized 4,600 bottles of illegally brewed liquor from the site. It has come to light that the suspects had been engaged in the racket for a period of time. This raid was carried out at a location along a branch of the Diyavanna Oya. The Valana Anti-Corruption Unit had carried out the raids in this area before as well. The chief suspect was arrested during the raid.
As stated on the headlines, a massive island-wide police raid has resulted in the arrest of 2,241 suspects, including 595 suspects with arrest warrants against them.
The raid from 11 p.m. yesterday to 3 a.m. today involved 11,558 police officers from 481 police stations. 934 people were arrested for roaming at night without any justifiable reason during the 4-hour period. In addition, 595 warrantees and 70 suspects wanted by police for crimes and other reasons were arrested as well. 94 suspects were arrested for the possession of heroin, 372 were arrested for the possession of cannabis, and 176 people were arrested for the possession of alcohol. Police mainly focused on crime prevention and the prevention of motor accidents. 489 people were arrested for driving under the influence, 305 were arrested for driving without a valid license, and 197 were arrested for reckless driving.
If the police can arrest a large number of persons with warrants against them in a span of few hours, it shows how efficient our police force is. However, some persons are in hiding, especially persons like Venerable Yanasara, who has become a controversial figure in society for inciting racism. Such persons are in hiding. The question arises why he was not arrested. This shows that there is some force that steers the police. It must be noted that persons who act against the constitution must be arrested. Those people must be exposed.
The 29th Udagam Mana, which was constructed under the Revive Kam Udawa project, was vested in the public in the Karwanamula area in Hambantota today.
The village, which consists of 25 houses, was constructed at a cost of 44.6 million rupees. 240,000 rupees each was given to 12 people for self-employment purposes. Thanks to foreign policies of the President and the Prime Minister, we were able to regain the GSP Plus concession. There are politicians who try to put it aside, saying it is of no use. The former President says the GSP Plus concession was regained by betraying our country, Buddhism and war heroes. These are statements that showcase cussedness. Because what he did was losing the GSP Plus concession. What we did was regain it and spread its benefits by building villages, factories and creating employment opportunities.
Minister of Finance and Media Mangala Samaravira held bilateral discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Strategy and Finance of the Republic of Korea, Kim Dong-young.
Minister Samaravira and Minister Kim Dong-young discussed issues of mutual interest and underscored the importance of closer bilateral relations between the two countries. Minister Samaravira is currently taking part in the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank's annual meeting in Jeju Island, South Korea.
State Minister Eran Wickramaratne and Minister Sara Thamanugama, both speaking at an event last evening, made strong remarks on the shortcomings in governance.
We are in the process of discussing a new constitution. Often when the word constitution is mentioned, the first thing that triggers in people's mind, do we have a problem somewhere in the north and the east? Are we trying to actually address that? And therefore the time has come that we actually define the number of ministries very specifically and put it in the constitution, because unless we can make government scientific at the top, it's very difficult to make government scientific at the bottom. We need to fix the system. We need to have a system which doesn't depend on the bullet or the gun being held to somebody's head or fear being used as a method of management, but a system in which people are incentivized and motivated to work and to bring the best out in people.
Very often, at the end of the year, while supplementary estimates come from one side, the budgetary allocations are not fully used. Many of the ministries really use only about 70%, 80% of the funds allocated to them annually. In fact, the very people who shout that they are not having enough funds allocated by the budget are the very people who don't use the money that has been given to them in the budget. I invite you to use the new information, right to information, to find out what's happening. How many of these ministries are using the allocations that have been made?
The event was held to confer 130 senior public servants with the Chartered Public Finance Accountancy qualification organized by the Association of Public Finance Accountants of Sri Lanka.
Former Minister Mervyn Silva expressed views about a Shramadhan program that will commence from near the Ruwanwali Mahasaya.
This program will commence on the morning of the 18th. Offerings will be made to the Ruwanwali Mahasaya at 6 in the morning. Thereafter by 8, the premises surrounding the Chaitya would be cleaned. The Shramadana campaign will commence from there. Accordingly, a group of around 300 people will engage in this meritorious deed of clearing the premises of the Attamastana. The second location that we have selected is the Sulos Mastana, while the third would be Mahayangana. Thereafter, we will be going to Seruwavila, where there are many sacred relics. This program will be held every month.
Dulit Herath, the CEO of Kapruka, who was awarded the Eisenhower Fellowship this year, gave his insights into his global e-commerce initiative, Grasshoppers.
Mr. Herath, now that you are a recipient of the Eisenhower Fellowship, what sort of a vision do you have, not just for yourself as an individual, but for the country as a whole?
The main initiative is I really want to take my project Grasshoppers to the global arena. One of the main elements of Eisenhower Fellowship is that they connect me with some people that are very hard to get connected to. For example, Jeff Bezos of Amazon. So those are some people that I'm going to be directly talking to face and show them how big e-commerce in developing countries is going to be and how much they should be included or inclusive e-commerce in Sri Lanka.
Well, now that you have been recognized by the board, do you think that this will give you a platform to expand your horizon?
Yeah, I mean, the reason for the fellowship is my project Grasshoppers. So what Grasshoppers does is it lets other people or small companies in Sri Lanka to do e-commerce. It is giving the necessary tools for the small shops to also do e-commerce. So I always call e-commerce, it's a gold mine. So you need those necessary mining tools, and Grasshoppers is one of those big tools.
What sort of advice would you like to give for those who would like to apply for an Eisenhower Fellowship, and what sort of characteristics do you think that one should possess in order to have it for themselves?
See, what they really look for is leadership. That is the most important thing. Second, what they look is your accomplishments. What have you done so far? And the third is your project. Your project that you are trying to take to the fellowship should be very impactful, not only to your nation, probably to in a regional way. And of course, you have to be less than 45 years old.
Well, there are Nobel laureates, there are presidents who've received the Eisenhower Fellowship. How do you feel to be a part of this exclusive club?
I'm still sinking into it. Just got to know yesterday. So, I mean, I feel like I got a PhD.
In sports, we take a look at some strong comments coming out from the Minister of Sports. Now, Dasiri Jayasekara says that Sri Lankan cricketers need to undergo military training.
This function was organized to award certificates to those who successfully completed the diploma program at the National Institute of Sports Science. Some of the cricketers are well built and have the strength to perform. Some say that missing one catch will not cause a loss. Catchers actually win matches. If one has a big stomach, he will not be able to catch the ball. Take a look at the Bangladesh team. They have been well trained. Our team is the opposite. They need to be given a 6-month military training.
Well, with that, we wrap up this edition of Primetime Weekend News. If you missed out on any stories, don't worry, you could look up us on Facebook, Newsfirst/English. We'll have all the stories up to date on our Newsfirst Facebook page and also on our website, www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are now up to date. For the News System, I'm Joel Outstream. Have yourself a great day ahead.